Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Well. Good evening. Good, happy New Year to everybody. Happy Thursday evening. All of those good pleasantries and all. Thank you, everybody that has joined us tonight. We do appreciate you guys. Before we get things kicking off here, do me a favor, please. Hit that like button. Please share this content. Let everybody know that we are on live right now. Come and hang out with us for this quick 30 minutes as we go back and forth on a few things. Of course, we're going to touch on, there's some rumors going around, and as well as just some information that's been kind of shared throughout the media, and we're going to touch on those items as well. But first and foremost, I want to say hello to my panelists. As always, it is such a wonderful time to hang out with my guys. I really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys had a wonderful, safe New Year. But more importantly, we're going to kick it off and we're going to talk some Bears football tonight. So with that being said, I want to lead us into the fact that, as I mentioned before, there's been a lot of rumors going around, some good, some bad, some may have some truth to it, some may not. But, that's what they call rumors. But with that being said, let's kick it off like this. First of all, everybody out there that's watching the show, do me a favor. If nothing else, hit the like button for Jaylon Johnson, as he has been named to the Pro Bowl for a second straight year. And everybody talk about his numbers are down. Well, his numbers are down because ain't nobody throwing his way. But anyway, that's just me. But let's hit that like button for Jaylon Johnson. Jaylon Johnson has really been doing his thing. He's been representing. He got that bag, and he is showing why he got the bag. And the receivers out there, they know what's holding it down. That's why he got another opportunity to go to Orlando. But with that being said as well, there's been some talk about what Mr. Caleb Williams has had to say about, his potential new head coach. And Jaylon Johnson also weighed in on that. So my thought on it really quickly, and I'm going to get out the way, is this. I'm glad that they're expressing themselves. I'm glad that they've taken the lid off of everything and they're now voicing their opinion, need to be had and need to be heard, most importantly. But with that being said, I'm going to get ready to pass it off to everybody else and let you guys chime in. But once again, hit that like button for Jaylon Johnson. Matter of fact, just hit the like button for us and for the Bears in general. Win or lose, we still Bears fan. Hit that like button. But with that being said, to my panel, good evening, fellas. Brad, I'm going to let you kick it off, brother. What you think about these rumors about, the thought of who the new head coach may be, as well as what you think about Jaylon Johnson earning that second nod as a Pro Bowler?
I love it. As far as Jaylon Johnson, I love it. Let's hope he can get that the first team this year. Ooh. He got snubbed last year. He didn't get voted to the AP all first team. So let's hope he can get that this year. Give him a little respect. Like you said, he's not getting numbers because he ain't getting the ball thrown his way. And I think he only trails PS2 in targets, so or lack thereof targets, I should say. So that's great.
Really?
All this coach, I think he's up there. It was early in the season for sure. It was PS2 was least thrown at, and then him. So I'm sure trends didn't change that much with those two. So
Mike, look that up for us, please.
Yeah. But for sure, the with Caleb and the coach, it's just all kind of his opinion, and it probably doesn't matter all that much. And to be truthful, I don't even think the GM or president have any clue who they're going to choose right now anyway. So it's just kind of all up in the air.
Yeah. It's premature, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
I kind of think it's a little unprofessional in a way to even really be having that type of conversation when you have so many teams that are still in the hunt and playing. They got guys that potentially could be looking to be, a head coach or another, a position coach or a coordinator for that matter. But right now, to even be having that conversation, I don't think is fair, especially when some of the questions that's coming are coming from the same guys that were out here, blowing the horn, wanting to, impose we trust, impose we trust. And now all of a sudden, now they want to kick Poles out the door. So we're not going to talk about those guys. I'm going to try my best to keep us on topic, but you know, I don't think that they need to be talking about who the potential coach should be right now. Keep that in house.
Well,
What you
I
think, Mike
mean,
or Darius?
well, I think, unfortunately, we've been accustomed to this time of the year as Bears fans. Um, and it's very, like I said, it's very unfortunate, but this is where
Yeah.
we're at. Until we bring someone in to change this culture, we're gonna be looking forward to this day like a kid looks forward to Christmas. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And it's crazy, but it's a fun time. It's bittersweet because we're at a point where we have a possibility to finally find the right guy who's going to change the culture. And respectfully, these guys are with different teams, so to just put their name with us is a tad bit unprofessional. But you know, we can't be charged by the NFL, for doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I
true.
mean, we have to, like, it's okay for guys to come up with their own ideas of who they think they can change this culture around here. I mean, I got 4 guys personally that I think that can do it. You know, but I mean, it's that time of the year, so this is how it goes, man. I mean,
Yeah.
shit, Chicago, the Bears gonna make us all professionals at this, man. If you keep going this way, seriously, man.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Mike, what you think, man?
Yeah, going back to Brad's point, he was correct because I saw something about AJ Terrell here about he has the third lowest target rate, which is 12%. Only 2 ahead of him were Jaylon Johnson and Pat Surtain. So Brad did nail that. And I think it is worth noting with Jaylon Johnson that New Year's Eve they released the final Pro Bowl voting ballot, like for top 10 at each position before they officially got announced, and Jaylon Johnson wasn't on there. So that means he was selected to the Pro Bowl by the players and coaches, which he deserved it wholeheartedly. Everyone around the
Mhm.
league that plays this game knows how good he is at the cornerback position, and he's been worth every single penny of his first year, that 4-year contract that he signed in the offseason. He completely locks down one side of the field, and it's great for this Bears defense that's been struggling right now, but he's been consistent all year, and it's been needed for this defense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. You know what? I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest. You know what I would like to see? Have they announced the alternates yet?
Nah, not that I know
I
of.
don't think so.
The reason why I'm gonna tell you somebody who I think has played a heck of a season, even though he missed a few games. But Kyler Gordon, man, I think Kyler Gordon should at least get considered as an alternate, man, because as far as the slot, as far as that nickel, he been doing his thing this year, man. I like what his production. I like what he's been doing, man. I think as he continued to grow in that role, man, the kid, you can see he's ultra confident, and he's always around the ball, man. And
Hmm.
he's not afraid of no contact. He don't mind mixing it in and getting in there with it, So I'm hoping, man, that he may get a nod as an alternate. That would be awesome. I think it's deserving. I don't know what you guys think, Brad.
Well, let me step in a little bit and share my sentiments on this Pro Bowl situation.
Go right
I
ahead.
mean, when you're part of a team that lost 12, well, 11, 12 straight, I don't think nobody on the Bears deserves to go. I mean, Jalen is good, very good corner. He's a very good corner. But everybody on this team has played a part in this losing streak, hate it or love it. And I just feel like, rewarding losing, you putting losers out there at the Pro Bowl. I don't like that. I personally feel like, Jaylon Johnson would kind of echo my sentiments as far as, him caring about the Pro Bowl versus losing 11 or 12 straight. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I've never been like that. I've never been, with that type of situation when, the team is such a term, because it is a team game. This is the total team game, football. And when you're part of a situation when you lose 11, 12 straight, I just don't think you deserve any Pro Bowl players, and especially anybody All Pro. I'm sorry.
Now, do you think Jaylon Johnson has Hall of Fame potential?
Nah, it's too early for that.
Okay,
But
well,
right now,
when
no.
you start talking about Hall of Fame, though, I know it's early in his career. When you start thinking about Hall of Fame, you have to have those Pro Bowl selections. So that's why it matters so much to these players. That's why it should matter to them. Obviously, yeah, your team record needs to matter too, but nobody's going to remember that one season you had a 12, nobody's going to remember him in his Hall of Fame induction for that one season the Bears had a 11-game losing streak, 12-game losing streak, and
I agree with that. I
so
think
they're not going
All
to remember
Pro
that.
matters over Pro Bowl, right?
Yeah,
But you
I
know
think
what though,
so because that
Darius?
can come incentives with contracts and stuff.
yeah.
But
It's good for him on that end, but
I'm gonna chime in on something, Darius, and I understand where you're coming from with regard to how the record should be reflective, but at the same time, let's keep it real now. Um, although we've been on a 11, 12 game losing streak, the players recognize players, and
Mm-hmm.
the players are the ones that's making these, and the players are the ones that's doing the voting. So whether you on a losing team or a winning team, the players are recognizing, hey man, when we go up against so and so, they record may not be indicative of the players' play, but man, look at here, JJ, you ain't getting nothing on JJ. So, and that's consensus with all the top receivers in the league. Then he gets that vote. So
I mean,
I
I
get
understand
I
it.
get no, I get what you're saying, and
Mhm.
and trust me, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. And in all honesty, I really do agree with you. But in the case of a JJ and a few other guys on that team, I think have played well enough to at least, if not be considered, get the vote as a starter, be considered as an alternate, because
Mhm.
the players recognize that, hey, this team is horrible, not so much because of the players, but because of the coaching. Thank God they don't vote for coaches that got to be Pro Bowlers, because ooh wee. But
Yeah.
but with that being said, man, I completely agree with you, Darius, and I get it, man. I really do. I do.
Yeah, man. I mean, and like not to hate on Jaylon Johnson. And you made a great point about Kyler Gordon. Hopefully he gets a contract, with us. Hopefully he's back with us. But I
Oh,
feel
he's
like that
getting paid.
at every sport.
He's
Yeah.
getting paid, brother. He ain't leaving
Mhm.
the Bears. He's getting paid. He's gonna get his money.
Yeah.
He's earned it, man. The kid earned it,
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yep.
he's tough as nails, man. And the dude, he's my biggest concern was if he could be a nickel corner. That was my thing, because I loved him when he was in college. And
Mhm.
the kid had great range in college. I saw where he had the agility and the ability to play, the nickel. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna be honest, he's playing the nickel better than I thought he would. I thought he was a
Yeah.
better outside corner, but to me now, I think he's found his comfort zone,
Yeah.
and I actually think he likes the action
And
at
I think
nickel.
a different scheme will help him out too.
Oh yeah, an
Mm-hmm.
aggressive scheme, because I think using him on corner blitz, I like that, man. When they send him on the blitz, because his timing be, and the fact that he doesn't mind, squaring up and laying a little wood too,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, to me, I want to see him continue to excel. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm really praying for Brisker. I hope there's nothing more
Yeah.
to them just saying, we're gonna shelf him. We ain't doing nothing. Ain't no need in bringing him back. We just gonna shelf him. And I'm glad they made that decision, because I didn't know until a friend of mine brought it to my attention that he also had a couple concussions while playing at
Penn
Penn
State.
State, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
this kid,
Yeah.
right now, man, that noggin, man, is super important, bro. So I want him to do all necessary to get healthy, man, and to stay healthy. Seriously. But with that being said, man, okay, we're gonna pass it. We done went on that. Let's get back to this whole quarterback, not quarterback, but this whole coaches thing, man. Honestly, let's talk about that for a minute. Let's unpackage that.
Mhm.
Now, we know we've heard some names tossed around. We've heard Vrabel name been tossed around. We've heard Kingsbury name. Of course, we've heard Ben Johnson name tossed around. Those are just a few. Before we jump on the Bears, I'm gonna tell you a name that jumped out that I found to be interesting, And it was more interesting about the team that decided that they're bringing him in for an interview, which was, and he's a retread, but I actually like the guy's personality, which is Rex Ryan. Now, I'm not saying I like him for him to be a Bears head coach, but I found it interesting that the Jets decided that they want to bring him in for an opportunity to, at least interview for a head coaching job. So I wonder if that name is going to pop up on our radar too. What you think, Brad?
I mean, I could see it, but I hope not. That's all I've got to say about it. I can see it, but I hope not. No disrespect to
I'm gonna
him.
hold my thought on that until everybody chime in on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hope not. That's all I got to say about it. Stay far away from him. Stay far away from Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, see, you really trying to pull me into something, and I'm gonna try my best not to get pulled into it. Go ahead, Mike. I'm gonna have some discipline.
Yeah, I think I kind of feel the same way. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just a little stubborn with like kind of the list of guys that I'd like to see, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't think I'd be all too thrilled. So I think I kind of with Brad on this one.
No, I'm with it too. I just found it interesting because I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear his name in the carousel at all in terms of interviews. So when I heard, I was like, and I know he's been campaigning, low key campaigning for an opportunity to interview for a head coaching job,
Mm.
and he's been out of the game for a minute, so he's had a chance to watch a lot of football,
Yeah.
But I just wonder if he can put together the proper staff to be able to carry a team into the playoffs and maybe a Super Bowl. But that's just my thoughts. Darius, go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a thanks, but no thanks for me.
Come
Like,
on,
listen,
man. What's wrong? What's wrong with Sexy Rexy, man?
listen.
First of all,
Look,
one thing now, hold on. I'm gonna hit you with this, Darius, and I'm gonna get out the way, I promise.
uh-huh.
One thing for certain, he knows what a Bear locker room should be like and what a
I
culture
was
for the
about, yeah.
Bears should be like, because now he grew up in our locker room. Now his daddy is the reason why that defense, why they still talking about the 85 Bears. I'm not
Yeah.
yeah, Dicker was the head coach, but
Hmm.
we know who the coach was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
He got carried off the field too.
Yeah.
But I think, man, if nothing else, you talk about a culture, you talk about someone that knows what the Bears need. Why not
Hmm.
Rex? Why not Rex?
Well, listen, like you made a good point when you said that he understands the culture and he understands. Like the number one thing for me, he's a guy that understands football. Okay, he comes from a good background. He got good pedigree and all that. He had great success. He had pretty good success with the Jets. You know, those years that he was with them. And shout out to the Jets for doing their due diligence. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they picked the guy up off a UPS truck and interviewed him. You know what I mean? But this is this is the Jets doing their due diligence. But as far as him coming to Chicago, if they want to speak with him, I wouldn't be upset about it. Just don't hire him.
Well, look, man. First of all, I don't know why you hating on the brown trucks, man. I mean, them guys make
No,
pretty
I'm
decent
just
money.
saying.
We might be able
Hey,
to find a decent head coach working for UPS. Hell, it'd be better than what we've been doing. But anyway, I digress.
nah.
I digress.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
what we been working with ain't been the greatest, but man, nah. Those guys do a wonderful job driving those brown trucks and delivering packages. I think they should
Yeah,
stay right there.
I guess. Hey, the last couple head coaches we had probably should have been driving brown trucks too. They might be now. But anyway, again, I digressed again. I'm sorry, guys. I promised I
Yeah.
was going to be disciplined. Shame on me. Anyway, with that being said, man, so back to this whole coaching carousel. I kind of jumped off topic. Well, I ran with Rex, but no, seriously, let's be real, guys. Now that you've had a chance to kind of see as we're approaching the playoffs, if you had to if you had to pick your top 5 guys to bring in, if you was the GM, your top 5 guys that you would consider bringing in for interviews, hit me with them. Brad, you first.
Vrabel, Carroll, Johnson, maybe Flores. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how likely we are to look at him as a head coach, but I like him, and some guys just can't handle a tough guy as coach. I guess some people are spineless, but it's kind of what this team needs. And I don't think it would hurt to bring in the guy over in Buffalo, Joe Brady.
Joe Brady.
I don't think it would hurt to bring in
Brady?
Joe Brady, see what his mind's like.
Okay. Mike, what you think?
Pete Carroll's always been top of my list since it kind of came out.
I say no to Pete.
I understand, but I don't understand at the same time.
I'll share with you. I'll share with you at the end. Go ahead, Mike. Give me your top 5.
I have 2 that I'm really strong with, and it's not going to surprise anyone. I feel strongly it should be Ben Johnson or Vrabel. I think they're 1A, 1B for me. I think they both have separate, strong reasons why they should be the head coach, and they're not really all the same. And there's definitely risks with both of them, but I still think those are probably the 2 best guys with what they have to lead the team. But 3 other guys, someone that I don't know why hasn't been talked about more is Todd Monken. He's the current Ravens offensive coordinator. He's had 2 seasons. I mean, Lamar won MVP this year. There's still another game to play, but at the worst, he's going to finish top 2 MVP voting this year. The Ravens offense has been good. It's a different scheme than I think what the Bears would probably run. Obviously, we're not going to have Derrick Henry walking through the door theoretically if they hired him. It's a lot more rushing attack, and I don't know how that would exactly work with 3 good wide receivers. So it would be a little different, but he's definitely someone that has the offensive success that the Bears might be looking for. And then outside of those 3 guys, maybe Brian Flores slots in at 4, but I think another, maybe a riskier one, or one that's probably not even available, is trade for McVay, trade for Shanahan. If they even entertain the idea, I'd be all over going after one of those guys, even if the price is steep. I believe Peyton was a 1st and a 2nd. I believe that's what the Broncos had to give up. It was a 1st and a 2nd round pick. Honestly, if the Ravens or 49ers said, we'll take that from McVay or Shanahan, I'm doing that instantly. But like I said, that's probably very unrealistic.
Darius?
For me, because I'm so strong on culture, and I think this is exactly what this team needs. My top 5 is Vrabel, Carroll, if available, McCarthy, Flores, and Johnson is last on my list.
Okay, so you went with veterans across the board, man. That's what you.
Yeah, I went. Listen, I went with culture
You
guys.
said forget. You said forget the coordinators. I'm going with guys that have head coached before. Okay.
I'm tired of all the flavors of the month, man. I'm sick of that.
Well, I understand.
That's not necessarily in my mind. That's not necessarily what's needed in Chicago. Chicago's number 1 issue is culture. We need someone to install a culture. The offense is going to come. If the right coach in here that installs a culture, they're going to bring an offense. Now, will it be the greatest show on turf? Probably not. But it doesn't have to be that to be effective.
Gotcha.
The top 4 guys I named all played under or coach under 2 play, but coach under culture. These guys are football guys, and this is what we need. We don't need a mad scientist, with all the schematics, just, just to help the offense. This team needs a facelift all over as far as personality and as far as toughness. Now, Ben Johnson is great at what he does, but Dan Campbell,
the CEO.
Campbell stirs the drink in Detroit. You know what I mean? We need somebody in here that's gonna set the standard, man, and stand on it. Not waver. We don't need nobody weak. We need somebody in here that the front office respects when they see their name on paper or on a computer screen, not when they come in the building.
I
You
got you.
know, and if
I'm
Yeah,
with you.
and
I'm
it,
gonna actually real quick trade out Joe Brady and Big Mike for me. I'm with Darius. I like Big Mike a lot.
yeah. So, that's just that's me, because even when Detroit were going through their years, that problem wasn't talent. It wasn't because their offensive line was terrible. They was going through this. They had a culture issue. Dan Campbell came in and changed the culture. That's what we need in Chicago.
Well, now look, I'm gonna be honest. Dan Campbell got. I don't know if you guys remember. Now Dan Campbell got laughed at
Yeah.
when he was even
Because
considered. Everybody was like, Dan Campbell, what head coach? Nobody thought he was going. Nobody thought he would pan out. They canceled. They was canceling Christmas on that guy after the first season as well. But look, he's weathered the storm. But this is the thing that I admire most about Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell is a man's man. One, he says, he says what he means and he means what he says, and he's unapologetic about his approach to things, and he's shown that with some of the decisions he's made in terms of going for it on fourth down, you know, all different type of things that he's done over these past few years. And the thing is, and his players have bought into this guy. That team has, if you want to think of a personality, you think of Dan Campbell, that team looks like Dan Campbell, man. They play like a Dan Campbell. You know what I'm saying? And if you remember that guy when he played, he was that type of dude. I'm gonna bite your kneecap if I gotta scratch your eyeball out, all those things. That dude, he was that guy. I'm with you. I strongly believe that we need somebody that can definitely create culture, first and foremost. Now, I'm not necessarily so hell bent on the person having professional head coaching experience, but I want to know that the guy can command a locker room, but I need him to be able to coach his coaches. I don't need him to, when your when your OC calls something and it hasn't worked 2 or 3 times, and you still trying to run the same play, and the 10th time around it still has not worked. Damn it, I got to talk to you. It's just that simple. If I'm the head coach, I need a head coach that is going to create a culture, but more importantly, coaches.
yeah,
Okay.
man. And I'm sorry, bitch. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like we need a guy in the building that when guys walking off the field in the middle of plays, guys not focused on last
We
plays
ain't
of the
gonna talk
game,
about that, brother.
critical times of games, guys not focused, the
Mm,
guys not wanting to practice. We
mm.
need a coach that's gonna tell those guys, go the fuck home.
Thank you.
Don't
You
come
said it.
back
I
till we
didn't.
call you.
You said it. I didn't. You said it. I didn't. But I was
You
sure thinking
know,
it. Thank you.
yeah, we need guys to hold. I'm talking about really hold people accountable. You know, and it's not been. These guys been getting a lot of preferential treatment. Because of who they are as football players,
Is
and
it
we
that?
need
Or
to.
was it that Darius, or was the coach just trying too hard to be a player's coach?
However you want to look at it, it's
'Cause
all
that's
the
how I
same.
kind of. That's how I kind of
Yeah,
started reading
it's all
Flus.
the same for me. And I
Yeah,
don't care how good you are, how good you think you are. If you're not in tune with what the hell is going on, go home.
I'm with you.
Well, that goes back to what it was. Kyler Gordon, I think they asked him in his interview the day before New Year's Eve. And I like this that he said, I'm getting tired of the leader of men. I think that's every coach, like every coach that ever exists. It's just become like watered
It's
down
not.
at this. He said, come in here and enforce discipline. That's what this team needs. It needs someone that's going to enforce discipline. I mean, every week we see these pre-snap penalties. They kill offensive drives, even on the defensive side of the ball, just undisciplined penalties, and that kills teams. You cannot be a good team taking penalties like that, and it all goes back to coaching and all about discipline. And I'm with Kyler Gordon on that. You need a guy that's going to enforce discipline because that'll go past the players. It'll be effective on the field as well.
Mike, I'm glad you said that because that's the fourth player that has spoken and mentioned something about discipline. So there's
Mhm.
something going on that is missing in it. Whether one, it kind of got leaked out that practice is just that practice. They're not practicing like it's a game.
Yep.
which also you can see that when they get on the field during game time, but we're getting ready to wind down here shortly. I want to let Brad chime in on Brad. Darius and myself have mentioned culture. Mike has as well. What's your thoughts on it in terms of a head coach? And do you think we need a guy that can enforce culture, or do you think you need a guy that can, the watered down leader of men? What do you think most important? We're gonna wrap it up with you, my man. I'm gonna let you, hit it on that, and then I'm gonna give some pleasantries, and we out.
Yeah, I think the leader of man is going to set that culture. So I think it's kind of two in the same. When they talk about this leader of man, they're looking for a culture guy. It's what we need. I know you said something about you don't need the pro experience, but you do. We need a guy with pro experience. Talking to these college kids, it's not the same as talking to these men that are making 3 times, 4 times as much as you are. They got a different ego than these college kids. They're paid. They're pros. They're paid. They're pros. They know what's going on. And these college kids are just out here trying to make a name. They don't have those big egos. Of course, a couple of them do. I'm sure like Caleb had an ego in college, but that's just because he was a Heisman winner. Jaden Daniels probably had a little bit of an ego in college, Heisman winner. But, guys like that, that's the only ones that are going to have egos. Everybody in the NFL has an ego. Every single one of them. You got to have that leader man. They're men. They're not kids.
Right.
Just because you can coach college doesn't mean you can coach the pros.
Right. No, you're right. Well, you know what I meant by in terms of pro experience. I wanted him to be a pro. Have coached in the NFL. Not necessarily if it's not a repeat in terms of a head coach. I'm okay with that as long as that person that's being interviewed and being considered that's a coordinator. I want it to be known by the players in which he has helped develop. What do they think about that guy? Would they lay down for that guy? Or was he that soft-spoken type of coordinator, or is he that coordinator that getting your ass and is a perfectionist? That's what I'm looking for.
And I think that's why I'm liking Ben Johnson a little bit more than any other coordinator, because his players do have respect for him. And another thing that, it just kind of popped in my head last week watching their game. I'm like, he's the OC calling plays from the field right now. It's not going to be a change like it was with TB here. He came from the box calling plays. He got his 3 games calling plays up in the box, and he came down the field, and it looks like Shane Waldron's back out there calling plays. Looks like shit. That does me good seeing Ben Johnson on the field calling plays, kind of like a head start for his head coaching while calling plays, because that's obviously what he's going to want to do. So.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. No, I just been curious, man, and just I've been racking my brain on it, man, and I'm just to the point where I just say, you know what, I've actually taken a step back from it all, and I said I'm just going to kind of let things, play out the rest, even throughout the playoffs, man. I'm gonna try my best to remove my thoughts about who our potential head coach can be until the season, until after the Super Bowl. Then I'll revisit that. Right now, I just think it's premature, and we're just, and I don't want us to ever be doing anything where we're just doing it for clicks. Honestly, I want if we're gonna speak our mind on stuff, man. Let's speak our mind on things, man, that we think that matters to not just ourselves, but to the other Bears fans that's chiming in and I chat and everything. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna let's try to keep it as relevant as possible. But before we get ready to wrap it up, because we got a couple more minutes left with our people.
Before you shut it down, Bishop,
go right ahead, Darius. Go right ahead. It's your floor, baby.
I respect everyone that feels a little way about the term leader of man, but you have to truly understand
what that means.
That quality. You have to understand what that means. I think the term has been used too loosely because everybody does not have that quality. You go into a job interview and you want a job and you need a job, you'll tell these people anything to get that job. But we've seen coaches, especially with this team, that come out there and try to carry themselves as leaders of men. But as the season goes on and as the years go on, we find out things, we hear things that show that they are not. So
Yeah.
I would ask guys, and y'all do what you want, but you have to respect that term. That term is very important. Now, I think people use it too much. They use it too loosely. But you have to understand the qualifications that come with that term, and everybody doesn't embody that, bro.
You're right.
They
You're
don't.
definitely right.
Yep.
No, you're right. And if they did, it'd be a lot,
Things would be a lot different.
yeah.
But we hear these things about, just not with us, of course, but coaches around the league. We hear a lot of stuff that before they were hired or when they was going through the hiring process, these teams, including ours, thought they had a true leader. But we
Yeah.
see it all the time. These guys don't have it. They trying, but trying times will show you what you're made of. And we've
Yeah.
seen with this team, when we go through trying times, we've seen the guy that's supposed to be the leader piss his pants.
that's saying it. That's saying
I
it
think we have a
loosely.
bunch of spineless
Yeah.
captains in our locker room too.
Yeah,
That
Like
man.
8 fucking
yeah.
captains, and not one of them has a spine to speak up. They
No,
all
you're
want to go
right
on
too.
their little talk shows and talk about how, there's people in the locker room not being accountable. Fucking hold them accountable.
Right.
You're the captain for a reason. I know the
Yeah,
Yeah.
captain on my high school basketball team held people accountable.
right.
People on my high school football team held others accountable. You're talking about 16, 17-year-old kids. They can hold people accountable, but you 30-year-old men can't.
But
Yeah.
Get a damn grip. It's not
hey,
just your coach.
but think about this, Brad. First of all, what you don't need 8 captains.
Right.
First and
Right.
foremost,
Well, you don't, but
So,
that's the problem. You got 8 of them, not a single one
oh
of them
no,
is
that's what
coaching.
I'm saying. So
And
that's right
named
there.
8 captains. They don't have 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm with you on that, man. It's just time. It's time for leadership across the board, top to bottom, front office to the coaching staff to the locker room, leaders. Period. And I don't. And this is me. I'm gonna say this again. I know I've said it before. I don't need a team full of choir boys. I don't need a team full of choir boys. Give me some dogs. Give me some guys with some real attitude. Give me some guys that don't mind taking a 15-yard penalty if somebody hit my quarterback after the damn whistle. You know, give me somebody that is ready to scrap, want to squabble. I want a guy that want to squabble. That's who I'm looking for. So I don't know, man. I mean, we could talk about this all night, man, and we may have to do a special show, man, where we go a little longer than we normally do. But we'll reserve that even for after the season as well. So this way we can really dive into some things and share our thoughts. But tonight, I want to thank everybody that's been out there tonight, chiming in. Thank you guys on this Thursday night, second day of the new year. Thank you so much for chiming in the chat. You guys always keep everything uplifted and going. Again, don't forget, hit that like button, share our content, get as many people as to like the content and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. Help us out. Let's get those subscriptions up some more. But we want to thank everybody for sharing your evening with us, starting off your new year with us. We're looking forward to the new changes that's going to take place with our organization because we are all Bears fans. It is our organization. I want to thank my panel, Brad, Mike, Darius. As always, fellas, it's always a wonderful time jumping on with you guys. I appreciate you guys. My man Trax in the background. Appreciate you too, brother.
Yo.
Really do. Happy New Year to everybody. Everybody out there, have a prosperous
Happy New
new
Year.
year. Happy New
Yep.
Year to you guys. Hey, guess what? 2025 is our year. This is our season coming up, and we're going to have a heck of a squad coming up. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I hope you guys feel the same. But with that being said, before I get ready to get us up out of here, I want to say this. Remember this, you're blessed to be a blessing to somebody. With that being said, we are out. See y'all next week.
Bear
Peace.
down.
Peace. Bear down.